Hello and welcome, Angie Reed. You can't tell by our names, but we are brother and sister. This is my actual sister, Angie.
Yes, yes, full-blooded brother and sister.
Yes, for reals. Like no
For
joke.
real.
Not just like, hey, soul sister. No, like real sister.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I wanted to interview you today just because you've had a lot of shift and change, and I think it's good for everybody to sort of know about it, hear about it, and to get to celebrate you and enjoy you, get to know you a little better, and all of that.
Well, thank you. That sounds fabulous. And my word today was change.
Change. So is this a change for you?
Like a change that I've done or that I've had by doing this work, and that a change career-wise is going to be happening in my future. And am I going to be ready?
Well, I mean, it seems like it definitely is happening already. Yeah, that change.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so I guess let's start at the top. Obviously, this whole school thing and all of this works well for you. Um, right? So
yes.
I guess talk about why it works so well for you.
Um, Well, if I could start so I started attending your enlightened workshops
That's true.
um,
You
about a
did.
year ago, and I like that because I like a group because I hear from other people and relate to other people, so I like the group setting. What has changed though with school, that's really good for me is a consistent. Excuse me, I thought I was going to sneeze. A consistent place, a platform where daily I could hear from other people and daily where I could contribute. Um, that helps me with my consistency. Consistency is key. That helps me feel part of something.
Hmm.
And for me, that's great, especially coming from a long-term church background where you had the body of Christ, where you had your brothers and sisters to lean on and do things with. So I think coming from that, although I left it more than a decade ago, is just that feeling of community and that feeling of like-mindedness, a feeling
Yeah.
of family.
Well, and it's worked so well for you that I've had to remove you from being a regular participant because nobody stood a chance in terms of it was soul crushing to everybody else. So for those of you who are newer in the community, now is your chance. You earn points by contributing and being a part of it. Angie was so good at that she got promoted to moderator. So congratulations on that. Um, so, and in terms of like, I mean, you've had a lot of successes already and movement. Um, as a result, you did the 30-day marketing challenge. And, I think for you, what's been so great is you've been able to show up. As you've been had like a consistent format and said, here's what you need to do. And you've been able to say, okay, that's what I need to do. And it's simple and straightforward enough where it's like, okay, I can just do that. So I guess tell us about some of the successes that you've had as a result of the marketing, some of the breakthroughs.
Yeah, I want to preface that by saying I would have never done any of this stuff if it weren't for you and the school community, and breaking it down into little steps and um, doing before getting into the marketing, doing the habits, doing the purpose, and finding my purpose. All those things led to be able to do the marketing because one of the last things I like to do is talk to strangers about myself.
Right.
So going through the previous workshops, um, and just oh, and then also how much we talked about in the workshops that it's putting the energy out there. You're not trying to get something from these people. You're trying to help them. And I always think of what Natasha said, you're being the light. And so that gave me more and more good energy to go, okay, look, this is no big deal. You're just calling someone, you're making a friend, you're bringing the light, you're talking about what it truly is you found out you want to do. It's it's really not a big deal. And so breaking it down into the little steps, the little actions helped me get started. And then also learning not to be attached to the outcome,
Yeah.
that I am really not looking for a job. So if someone says no or someone doesn't answer the email, um, it's okay because it's not about that. It's about building the momentum and the energy. So
Right.
with all that being said, I started making my calls the one a day and just found that for the most part, people are very pleasant. People are very accepting of a call.
Hmm.
People really don't mind. And the ones that are too busy are the ones that don't come to the phone, and that's okay.
Yeah. So just
And
to
or get
clarify,
their email. Yeah.
yeah. Just to clarify, for those of you who are just coming, who are just seeing this now, and this is maybe their first exposure. So these insights that you're having around the marketing all come out of the 30-day marketing challenge. And it sounds like there's a lot of the insights that really helps breaking it down into small bite-sized pieces, making it very manageable, and then also learning how to detach and just getting into the proper mindset. Sounds like it's all made a difference. But I want to go back even further. There's a question in here somewhere, I promise, but I want to go back and further just to clarify all the things you already said, which is you were talking about all the different workshops we did leading up to the marketing challenge. So in our community, we have a 5-day habits challenge, followed by tapping into your intuition, followed by oh, I forget what comes next. I think it's like dissolving
Purpose.
blocks. Oh, purpose, finding your purpose and then dissolving your blocks. And so we did all these as a community, and they're all available for everybody to come in and do to sort of lead up to the marketing and those real world actions. So it sounds like all that lead up was very helpful too.
It was instrumental, and I believe you have a sequence in which newcomers should go through those workshops, which I think is key and very important. It was absolutely instrumental because I wouldn't really know what job I was searching for and who to call if I hadn't done, like, for instance, the purpose. And then the daily habits led me to being able to follow through. Like, I haven't missed a day of my habits or my marketing. Even when I couldn't talk, I did some form of marketing because I had no surgery. um,
But
so
you started with like a meditation or a checking in with your higher power kind of challenge.
yes, that
Commitment.
okay, so yeah, that was the habit. So for my habit, I chose, after talking with you, I chose to do a morning regimen, a 5-minute morning regimen, minimum of 5 minutes. And that's the other thing that is key, the small commitments. So it's not, I have to sit and meditate for an hour. It's 5 minutes when I first wake up. Could be longer if I want, but a minimum of 5 minutes where I connect to my higher power. And I just meditate for a minute. And then I ask my higher power, this is just me, but I ask my higher power, what is it I should focus on today? And a word will come to mind. Like today it was change, like reflecting on the changes I've made and reflecting on the changes to come. Yesterday was hunger, hunger for growth in the community, in this work. Um, so a word like that will come to me, and then I work on my wounded parts, my wounded childhood parts, one at a time. So right now I'm working on the wounds that I have as a child from my father. I was not always overweight as a child, but most of the time I've been up and down my whole life. And my father did not like overweight people. And my mom even made sure I knew that my dad didn't love me when I was overweight. So I'm working on that block. So this morning, first I did the meditation, and then I connected to that wounded part with my father not loving me because I was overweight, and sat with that and connected to the, I'm still in the rage part of that.
Right.
And then once I connected to that, then I connected to my love and compassion I have now as my older self, and gave that attention to my child self.
Great.
And so that's my morning regimen.
Oh, let me say a couple things about that too. So I think it's estimated all over the internet. It's 90% of CEOs have a morning regimen, right? So that's not a coincidence. So if you want to be successful in life, having that morning regimen, and so we've built that into this whole practice. So good for you for showing up and doing that consistently. What day are you on of that?
Today was 65.
65. All right. So in 25 days, we've got to find a new habit for you to start to take on. So that should be kind of exciting. And we have a whole like hierarchy of how you build, so it could be drinking water in the morning with lemon and, or it could be like exercise or who knows. But you said something else in there that I really wanted to touch on too. And that's um, when you came here, you really didn't even know what you wanted to do when we started, because you started like right with the beginning of this, Unblock Your Brilliance thing. And so you found your whole like career here and all of that. And now you very much have a career and a purpose, which is pretty spectacular. And that's really kind of the point of all this is, so this is a great place for people who really know what they want to do to learn how to sort of unattach and let go and process the blocks that are stopping them. But it's also a great place for people who are blocked around knowing what it is they want to do and taking steps forward in their life. So we have the practical aspects, which we make as easy as possible. But then we also have the underlying emotional blocks and the freedom from those that creates actual real movement. So I guess tell us about that. I mean, you came in with no idea, and then and now you very much have an idea.
Yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, I am on leave from work from foot surgery, and so I have had time kind of all, the timing is everything, you know, it's, it all lined up that I could be here at this time, be able to put my attention into these things and be away from work, which is I bartend at a Red Robin and I've been there 15 years and I've been in restaurants 32 years, management and server, bookkeeper, now bartender for 15 years. And there are things I really like about it, which is mainly is connecting with people, but it's a very difficult physically job, mentally, kind of a dead end kind of thing. So I've been wanting to change for a long time, but I didn't have the means, the confidence, um, the belief system that I could find the right thing with the right hours, with the right money. Um, I had tremendous amount of fear around change because I feel almost institutionalized after 32 years of restaurants. Um, so start with that, and then with connecting to my higher power with the daily habits, led to the Power of Purpose workshop, where it came to me, I definitely want to help others, and that it also came to me that particularly elderly people, and I love events and parties. Um, like I already just in naturally in my spare time, my days off, lead a walking group, lead a card group, bunko group. So it's already who I am. But I realized that I can make this a career and that I can also fulfill my higher purpose of helping elderly. And so it came to me that I want to be a activities director or have my own Oh, sorry, headphone falling out. Or have, okay.
And
Or go into my own business where I visit these senior homes, senior center communities with my specialty events, which are, I've been looking at a lot of retirement communities and they don't necessarily have my specific events, which are scrapbooking classes, which are Singo, which is a musical bingo, or Bunko. Um, so I have been doing my marketing and I have a event planned for June 13th at a glorious, beautiful assisted living in La Quinta called the Palms. Um, it's it's like walking into a Marriott. It's really beautiful. It's really big, beautiful, nice place. And we're gonna do the musical bingo um on June 13th and then go from there because the head lady is also interested in me doing recycled cards with the seniors that they could keep and reuse, which is great for the environment as well. And there's a possible job there as the arts and crafts lady, so I'm excited about that. On the
yeah, I mean,
23rd,
let's talk about that for a second, right? Because there's some really
okay.
miraculous stuff that came out of that. So you were calling and you were in the middle of your 30 days of the, and you were talking to her and she said, "Oh, we don't need any of what you're offering." And you had an instinct, and I think you said it came out of your of your all the intuition work that we did. You just had this sort of flash of like, why don't I pitch this? So why don't you tell us that story?
Okay, exactly. I talked to Stephanie at the Palms, the activities director, and she was very nice, but she was basically, a lot of our stuff is done by volunteers. And me, I don't, I don't need any help. And I was like, okay, because I do, and it just like Evan just said, I didn't know what to say or what to do, but it just came to me. And I was like, okay, because I do things like scrapbooking and Singo. And she said, scrapbooking, hold on. She said, arts and crafts is the one place I need help. And she said, come down and meet me.
Well, and
So,
what's to me, what's fascinating about that is she said, I don't need help. And then you said one thing, and the next thing she said is, "Oh, I need help with that," And so to me, it's just this is the value of this whole process we're learning of like learning how to call up and talk to people. And as you've seen, stuff happens. It's like if you show up consistently, stuff is going to happen. And so that's pretty great. And so and you have some other events lined up, things that you're doing, right?
yeah, so I meet with Laura at the Cathedral Center on May 23rd. And that's going to be based around the same thing, musical bingo, scrapbooking, talking to her about the different things I do and coming in and volunteering there. And I am starting right now with volunteering, but it's great for the experience and it's great for the whatchamacallit that I could put on my resume. And
Resume, you can shoot video of it. You can put that video on your website. Every time somebody talks to you now, you've got a website that you say, here, these are some of the events that I do. They get to see Singo in action. They get to see scrapbooking in action. And now you have a whole entire marketing platform that you didn't have before. And now you have a mailing list of all these people. And then when you go, if you start, approaching country clubs, now you've got all of this collateral stuff and you're a real business, So I mean that's all pretty fantastic, and all that got built really. I mean, we did the purpose and all that, but in that 30 days, you've had all this kind of movement and traction.
yes, and I've also gotten emails back from a couple of places of just wanting to not to hire me as an employee, but wanting, to hire me for an event here and there. Um, and so now I am working on a website and that I can, attach the link to my emails and be like, here, look, here's the information, here's who I am and what I'm about, instead of typing, a paragraph. And so, yeah, I've had two places email me asking me about events. So one is a country club and one is a assisted living. So
Yeah.
that's in the works as well. And I would have never done these things on my own. I'm just telling you, I was the kind of person that would apply for a job online and like wait and hear from that one job.
Right. And it's super empowering just to be like it's a total life change for you to sort of just be putting yourself out there and all of that. So what would you so just to sort of wrap everything up, like what would you say like, some of the keys for you have been just to sort of recap all this. What are the most important things you've discovered in this whole process?
100% is consistency
Yeah, we're hearing
because
that.
because we have the school platform, school community, where I know I can hold myself accountable and be accountable to others. And because we have the theme of easy peasy lemon squeezy, that's our community theme, that everything is broken down into these small actions. So there's the small morning regimen of 5 minutes, which I can do more if, you know, I oftentimes do. And then there is the small commitment of 3 marketing actions, which I could do or do more, but I committed to just one a day, shoot for 3, but committed to the one a day. Okay, so when I wake up in the morning, I know I can do these because they're small actions, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and that yeah, and that it's going to happen, that just by, even if I do my marketing actions and I don't actually get anybody on the phone, or if I don't get a response or an email that day, I have put out my energy, I have done my commitment, and these things are going to happen. Like, I have been literally sitting doing nothing, and people have returned my call, and now I have a call, or I have received an email when I didn't expect one,
Yeah.
which is don't expect an outcome, but and then you're pleasantly surprised by these
Right.
calls and these emails. And yeah, so it's been easy. It's been, which is mind blowing to me, because when you first say do a marketing call every day for 90 days, I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to, but it really starts to flow, and it really starts to become okay. Hey, I can do this, you
That's
know?
really inspiring, Angie. Well, great job and good job for you for showing up, being consistent, being willing to do what's asked. And it sounds like it hasn't been that hard, which is extraordinary because kind of it sounds like left to your own devices, it seemed impossible, So I think that
It,
is the real benefit of like having this community and this support structure and all of that is sort of together we can do things that we sort of couldn't do on our own, and it's not as hard as we think. So
yes.
thank you so much.
Oh,
This.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we'll have this up in a little while, in a week or so. And then, expect, huge crowds to be flocking to your door, for autographs and stuff. So, I love you,
All right.
sis. And thank
Love
you.
you.
And, we'll
Love
talk
you.
some more soon. Great job.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, hon.